Hi everybody, my name is Ajay Sharma. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Honda City. This is the 2012 model and this is the third generation of the Honda City in India. Now, just to start off, I'll let you know that today we're going to be going around the entire exterior of the car, looking at the interior, seeing everything that Honda had to offer at the time that this car was released. And of course, right after that, we're also going to be taking it out for a spin, seeing how it drives and telling you all about it. Now, before getting started, I want to let you know a little bit about the history of Honda in India. So, Honda entered the Indian market with the City in 1998. And in 1998, they had come out with two separate engines. They had the 1.3 liter petrol and the 1.5 liter petrol, the 1.5 making about 103 horsepower. And that's what got people really excited about Honda Cities in India because it was so powerful and every enthusiast really wanted it. And I'm going to pop a picture somewhere up here about how that car looks. But more importantly, I want to mention that after that, Honda did a really, really dumb thing and create the Honda City second generation, which came out in about 2003. And in 2003, they actually lowered the horsepower of the engine and gave it a 77 horsepower engine just to go the fuel efficient route and make people happy in terms of fuel efficiency. That obviously, in my opinion, didn't work out for them. They did a horrible job with it, which is why they came back with the Honda City ZX towards the end of the second generation. But I didn't like the look of that car either. To me, it actually looked like a frog. That design just didn't work for Honda. But then they revolutionized everything basically in 2008. So they ran the second generation between 2003 and 2008. And in 2008, they brought this design in. And truly, they hit a master stroke with this design because the one thing they did was get the exterior perfect, the looks amazing, and the engine was proper. It was a 1.5 liter, 118 horsepower engine. And this does a fantastic job. And in this specific case, it's mated to a CVT automatic. And we're going to be showing you how that CVT works as well. So without further ado, first thing I want to talk about is the face of this car. This face is an extremely tasteful face. I think that this, front fascia of the car, they really did a good job. I mean, it's been about 12 to 14 years since this design has come out, and it's aged so well because it's done so brilliantly in terms of how it looks. I don't think at this point also this design looks old at all. I think it looks perfect just the way it is, especially in this white color. A lot of the things are accentuated in the front fascia of the car. Bringing it to the side. In this section, I'd like to let you know that these come with 15-inch rims, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting that right. So it comes with 15-inch steel alloy rims, and they are really, really good. They look they look quite nice on this specific car. And as you can see, it's got a really nice curvature going all the way to the top and then swooping all the way to this side right here. So it gives it the perfect sedan silhouette. And I think the doors are very well sized. They open up really, really nicely. And I think the side profile of the car has also, just like the rest of this car, aged very beautifully. Now, would like to bring you back to the back of the car. And when I come to the back of the car, the one thing I'd like to talk about here is this is the part of the design that was changed between 2008 and 2014. So these taillights were changed one time, I think, in the 2011 year model. And in 2011, they actually made this a split taillight. So it's got a reverse light and a turn indicator in two separate parts. And it's got red accents cutting it through the middle. And that, I think, looks really good because the older one just had a complete red tail light, and that looked a little distasteful to me. This looks a little bit better for sure. And as you can see, the person who owns this car, he's the man behind the camera. He has put some sensors and a camera to match the look of the car or to keep it safe. In this case, he's gotten white sensors, so that looks nice. And the camera is placed well enough to not be a problem. Another thing I really like are these exhaust pipes. This exhaust pipe looks really nice. It's quite big, and it really brings out the sort of oomph that this car has with its engine in those sections right there. So moving back to the other side of the car, and just before moving there, the VTEC badge. Extremely important for an enthusiast. I don't think anybody who is an enthusiast will ever try to get rid of that badge or hide it in any way. Now, coming to this side of the car, we've already shown you the side profile from that angle. So while I'm here, the one thing I want to talk about is, and I know the owner doesn't like this either, Honda has these issues of providing some of the thinnest wheels I've ever, the thinnest tires I've ever seen. They've got really skinny tires that come with the car, and he plans on upgrading them. And actually, there are quite a few upgrades that are going to happen to this car coming very soon in a few other videos. But Honda is obsessed with giving you skinny tires, and I don't know why that is. But these are 175 section tires, I think. And 175 section tires are just too skinny. This car's so good looking, it needs bigger tires to actually complement its look. But yeah, that's basically it on the exterior. And I would like to talk more about the sunroof, but more on the inside. So we'll talk about that when we go into the interior look of this car. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about the interior of this car. Now, while talking about the interior, the first thing I want to talk about is the dashboard. The dashboard really has a great look to it. It's layered, it's a dual tone dash. So it's got a black color upper section and a beige colored lower section. And you'll be able to see all of this in terms of you can see how far it stretches forward, and it gives you a really nice, big, open, and airy feeling to this specific cabin. Now, apart from just that, I want to talk a little bit about the steering wheel. The steering wheel is actually really nice to hold. It's leather wrapped. Back in 2012, so many great features. It's nicely leather wrapped. It's very nice to hold, and it's got this indented in sort of the Honda logo, and the horn pad goes a little bit in, which really gives a very premium feeling to this entire interior. Now, apart from just that, back in 2012, once again, they had steering mounted controls for your volume, for your track, if you want to skip your tracks, to switch the modes. And most importantly, these three buttons is what I want to talk about, the cruise control. This car had cruise control in 2012. So those are some really impressive things about this cabin. Now, coming to practicality, it's got a very well sized glove box. I think you can put a lot of things in here. Apart from that, you've got two cup holders in here. And those cup holders really aren't that nice because I've got a 1 liter bottle here. And I'm just going to try this with this. First of all, it's not in the middle, so it's not that convenient having these cup holders there. Apart from just that, if I try to shove a bottle in here, as you can see, it sort of hits with the AC knobs of this specific car. So I don't think those cup holders are placed really well, and they really should have done a better job at doing that. Now, apart from that, another piece of practicality are the door pads. Now, while going into the door pads, as you can see, the door pads here, they don't have enough space actually to store big sized bottles. And you'll be able to see that right now on the screen. Now, apart from just that, this car in 2012, it's all the rave now to have a sunroof in your vehicle. This car in 2012 had a sunroof, and it was like one of the first few cars I think in India in this segment to have a sunroof. You can see the sunroof opens nice and wide. It's got a great opening. It brings up more airiness inside the cabin, and truly, really ups the quotient of this car. In fact, Honda was so proud of being one of the first few people to get this here in this segment. This trim is actually called the V Automatic Sunroof. That's actually the name of the trim of this car. So that's really nice. It's got a really nice gear knob. So switching gears is fun when you're going from park into drive. Um, and that's what I want to talk about in terms of the front of the car. While driving, I'm going to be showing you a little bit more about these two things right here. Another thing nobody was doing in 2012, paddle shifters. I can actually use my steering wheel to switch gears, something everybody is dying to have in this car, in their cars these days. This car had it back then. This is truly a gold mine of things that you never thought you would find in an economy car back in 2012. Now I'd like to show you the back seat, and that's an amazing place as well. All right, so now I'm on the back seat of the car, and I've mentioned this in my previous video. I'm 6 feet 2, and I've set this seat exactly to the way I like this seat to be. And as you can see, this is club class comfort. I am so comfortable as a tall person. I can tell you for a fact that every tall person would say this. Getting comfortable in cars is not an easy thing for us, and this car really does a fantastic job. It's such a long car, and they've really done great space management at the back. As you can see, I've got some great space available to me while I'm sitting in the back of this car. I have, again, if I was a little taller, if the seat was a little bit more back, I would still have a little bit more sort of wiggle room to get my legs to get enough sort of space for my legs. And apart from just that, I've got great headroom as well. You would think that being a swoop back car, it would not have great headroom, but as you can see, it's been actually cut out right here for better headroom. So it's got a great sort of headliner, and it does a good job accommodating taller people such as myself. Now, apart from that, it's got great door pockets at the back. It's got a cup holder in here. I like that. I mean, they didn't do a great job with the cup holders in front. They've got two horizontally placed cup holders in here and one in there. So a backseat passenger in this car could not be happier. And apart from that, I want to talk about the seats now. I'm going to be showing you the seats right now on your screen. And as you can see, these seats are so well contoured. I think these are very good looking seats more than just being well contoured for a car in this class. And I think more cars should definitely, pick up this design of seats and have it with themselves. Another thing I'd like to point out is this is the top end version of the car. You can't actually get anything above this, but it doesn't have adjustable headrests for the back seat. And that's a little bit of an annoyance because, yes, I do have great headroom and legroom, but my head sort of like doesn't have enough support, and I'd like these to be adjustable. But that's all right. I think they did a fantastic job at the time for sure. Moving to the boot, that's another piece of practicality I'd like to show you. All right, so the next thing we want to just cover in practicality is the boot. And the boot of this car is so impressive. I'd like to, at this point, let you know that me and the person who owns this car, we've gone to Goa together. And when we drove down to Goa, this boot could accommodate basically everybody's luggage. Five people in the car and five people's luggage perfectly accommodated. This car has a total boot capacity of about 506 liters, and it is a deep, deep loading section. And it's easy to load bags in here. I know there is a lip in here, but it's not that hard to load bags. It's got a decent enough opening for you to put enough bags through. So great boot, and I really think that Honda did a fantastic job packaging this car and getting all that practicality in. All right, so now I am going to start my drive with this car, and the first thing I want to talk about is that gauge cluster. Honda again did a fantastic job with their gauge cluster back in the day as well. As you can see, it's a very well put together layout. It's a very spacious section right here, just like the rest of the car. And the most important thing is, as you may be able to see, it has done 1,25,456 kilometers. This is a true Honda engine. It's got, Japanese reliability, and you'll see that the car drives butter smooth even with that many kilometers on it. Most importantly, it gives you your real-time fuel efficiency in there. And if you press the button right here, it actually gives you more information for the gauge cluster. Your trip one, your trip two, your average fuel consumption at the bottom as well, along with your current range. This is information a lot of cars didn't have actually back in the day, and the fact that they've given it here is just great. So it's a great gauge cluster. I'm going to go ahead and start driving the car. All right, so I'm gonna start driving the car now, and the first thing I'm gonna do is put it into drive. You should really see this gear knob. It's got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and sports mode, and we're gonna try that as well. So I'm gonna put it into drive right now, and put the handbrake down and start driving this vehicle. And again, a very, very nice to grip steering wheel. Really like that about it. You might have noticed the car has a aftermarket infotainment system, and this infotainment system is by Blaupunk that comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and weirdly enough, wireless Android Auto as well. Who would have thought? So, that just goes to show, and I've always tried to like think about this in a way where um, no matter how old your car is, you can always upgrade it and keep it perfect as long as you maintain it well and you keep upgrading the right things instead of actually modding it out to make it look bad and disgusting and just sort of, not making it look good. In this case, this car has been maintained perfectly. It's always been, serviced at Honda. And as you can see, the upgrades done to it are tasteful. And another video coming very soon is going to show you another tasteful upgrade that this car is going to have. Um, and just talking about the drive experience, this is an amazing engine. I think this 1.5 liter, 118 horsepower motor that that Honda has created, it's been basically the staple of their power band. You know that this specific engine has been upgraded and kept in the works even till now. So right now, the Honda City is running in its fifth generation. And in its fifth generation, it is still using the 1.5 liter motor. Of course, it's been upgraded and made a little bit different. But in its essence, this is the engine that stayed with Honda up until now, which is the fifth generation. Driving into the road, as you can see, and this is such a rev happy engine. I was at about 4,000 revs right now. It had no issues wanting to get up there. So Honda really likes keeping its engines very rev happy, and this is no exception to that either. Now, apart from just that, this is a CVT automatic, and yes, it does have a slight bit of a rubber band effect when it comes to its transmission, but I think it's a very well judged CVT. I think as far as CVTs goes, I've driven quite a few of them, and this is one of the better CVTs that I've driven, at least amongst all of the CVTs that I have driven in my time. Now, as I said, it's a very rev happy engine, and at this point, I'm going to go ahead and engage sports mode right after the red light. So I'll cut short to that. All right, so now I'm going to be doing a drive impressions from my perspective, and I'm taking a U-turn right now onto the main road. And unfortunately, there's a truck, so we're going to have to pass that before we can do a proper acceleration test of this specific car. Now, in this case, I've pushed it into sports mode, and this is the really cool part. I put one tug on the paddle, and I can completely control what gear I'm on. And as you can see, this Honda motor just loves to rev, and it does not shift up until you ask it to. Those paddle shifters will not shift the gears until you actually tug on it and make it shift. It's just such a rev happy engine, such a truly Honda motor in typical Honda fashion. They did not, allow the gas to shift, even though it was on its red line. So in conclusion, I just want to say that I really love this car. My friends had this car for a very long time. We've gone on multiple road trips with this. We've done a lot of things. Such a spacious car, such a powerful engine. I would say anybody who is in a budget looking right now in the second-hand market, a lot of these are available. The Honda Cities, just check them once because a lot of them do get sort of messed up with. People do up the engine. Some people mess with the inside. So definitely check the car before buying it. But in the market, there is nothing better than this. In the, I would say, about 3.5 to 5.5 lakh category. That's the price range this car ranges between. And if you find a Honda City in a good condition, there is nothing better at that price point. It's a reliable engine. This car's done 1,30,000 kilometers almost, and it runs butter smooth. So definitely recommending this car. You should for sure subscribe to the channel. Apart from subscribing to the channel, you should like, comment, and please let me know if there's any other car you'd like me to feature on the channel. And I will see you later, just like always.